Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all really well. I'm crossing my fingers and my toes that this audio is working. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my vinyl collection. Now this doesn't have nearly as many albums in as I would like it to, but I feel like I'm finally at a point that I've got enough to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's dive into my vinyl collection. Now I won't lie to you, last year we went through our cellar and found all my dad's old vinyls. So in my collection I have got a lot of old David Bowie records. Now my dad hasn't officially given them to me, but seeing as I have a record player and his doesn't work, he sort of agreed to let me keep them in my room, but they're definitely not mine. I will include them in my collection, but they're definitely, you know, not mine forever. And they're also not in fantastic condition because they were kept in a damp cellar, so I haven't actually played them, to be honest. I'm going to start with 3 that I got for my birthday just to get them out of the way in case you recently watched my what I got for my birthday video. So I haven't played them yet, they are still in their packet. We have got An Awesome Wave by Alt J, which I haven't listened to the whole album before, but I really do like Alt J, so I was really pleased to get that. Then we have got an album that I listened to non-stop when I was a teenager, and that is The Libertines. It's just one of those albums that I grew up with, and songs on here are like the soundtrack to my childhood. It's just such a good one. And then we have got Parallel Lines from Blondie. I also haven't listened to this yet, but I'm wearing a Blondie t-shirt today. I thought to myself, if I'm filming a video about music, it's a good time to wear a band tee. And yeah, I've not listened to this album all the way through before, but I did see Blondie live. She was my first ever concert, so I've always had a place in my heart for Blondie, and that's perhaps where I get my hair inspiration from. The next one, I always get the words around the wrong way, so I need to read it off here. Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not, by Arctic Monkeys. Again, another one that I listened the shit out of when I was, I don't know, 13 upwards, I guess. I'm not really sure, 12 I think, maybe a bit younger than 13. So, cracking album. If you've never listened to this, like if you're like into the new Arctic Monkeys stuff, and you haven't heard the old stuff because it's so different, definitely give this a listen, although I think it would be hard to find someone that hasn't listened to at least one song off this album, because we've got some iconic tracks on there. If you haven't heard of it, you look good on the dance floor, then honestly, what have you been doing with your life? This is another one of those staples from my childhood, well, teenhood, but teenhood isn't really a phrase, I guess, and that is Hot Fuss from The Killers. This album is just sensational. It's one of those albums that, well, in my record collection in general, I try not to have albums that have filler tracks on, so it has to be an album that I really, really dig, because you can't skip songs very easily when you're playing them on a record player. So an album on vinyl really has to mean something. It really has to have every song on there that you don't want to skip. This is definitely one of them. I love every single song on this album. Could I pick a favourite? Probably couldn't, and I just love this album, and just anything that Brandon Flowers does, to be honest, I love. Next we have got 3 albums from one of my favourite bands, although I will admit I haven't actually opened any of these yet. I'm not actually great at listening to music on my record player, because I need to buy speakers for it, because the audio on that record player is not all that, so I tend not to use it that often. I use it every now and then, but since the audio is so crap, I would rather listen to it on something that has better audio. But yeah, so I haven't, very embarrassingly, haven't opened any of these yet, but it is from probably one of my favourite bands. So we have got Nevermind from Nirvana, a classic, of course. What can you really say about this album that hasn't been said before? Not a lot. And then we have got In Utero, again, Nirvana. Yeah, I definitely haven't listened to this one as much as I've listened to Nevermind, but I feel like that's the case for a lot of people. This does have a couple of my faves on there though. Oh wait, tell a lie, I have opened this one. I thought I hadn't, but I have. Because I was thinking to myself, I saw the cellophane on there and I was like, I swore I'd listened to this. And I have. I just haven't taken the cellophane all the way off. So this is Nirvana Unplugged in New York. Very, very famous concert. And kind of when I listened to it, I remember just feeling slightly euphoric. I don't know, it just made me feel, it just brought out a lot of feelings in me, to be honest. And Nirvana is that one, you know, like when people say to you, if you could travel back in time and see whoever live, Nirvana would definitely be top of my list, closely followed by Queen. I would love to see Nirvana and Queen, to be honest, two of my faves. Next we have got a really, really good album. We've got Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller. My dad bought this for me for either a birthday or Christmas, and I was like, Dad, this is such a good album. I mean, I knew it was a good album anyway, but it is just a classic. So yeah, this is another one of those ones that just doesn't have a bad track on there as well. Thriller, Michael Jackson. Starting to show my very varied music taste. Next we have got that band from your childhood that will always hold a very special place in your heart, and that is Busted. And this is Night Driver, their 2016 album. And it's signed, which means Matt Willis has touched this, which fills my 11-year-old heart with so much glee. Busted were just that band for me. They were like the one. And I'm not going to lie to you, when this came out, I mean, I was so excited. When this came out, I bought the signed record. I bought the signed CD, even though I hadn't bought a CD in about 10 years. But I haven't listened to it. I think because it was like so many years without Busted in my life that I thought to myself, this could be it. They might never make another album again. I mean, they are now, so I really should listen to it now. But I think in my head I was like, I've got to save that album just in case nothing ever comes of it again. But they are now making another album, so I really need to listen to this because it's getting a little bit ridiculous. But hey, I've got a signed copy and this fills my heart with so much happiness. All the vinyl I have showed so far have been brand new. Now we are delving into a couple of things I've bought in charity shops. So quality might not be as good, might be a little bit scratched up. We have got the very best of Elton John. Not just the best, but the very best. I think we can all agree Elton John is a classic. It's a force to be reckoned with. Just one of those people that will just be up there forever. And this has got some good ones on. We have got Your Song, we've got Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Candle in the Wind, Tiny Dancer, Rocket Man. Fucking love Rocket Man. Rocket Man is such a good song. And of course we have got many others as well on there. But Rocket Man, oh my god, I love that song so much. Yeah, very best of Elton John. This is another charity shop find. And this is Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. I'm a pretty, I mean, I say a big fan. It's not like I know every song ever and I know everything that they've ever done, etc., etc. But I really like Fleetwood Mac. I think they have just a really cool vibe. And if you think Stevie Nicks isn't one of the coolest girls in the world, then you are wrong. All kinds of wrong. I really like the name Stevie for a girl. And my dad's name is Steve, so I might use that one day for a girl's name. And I can be like, yeah, Dad, named her after you. No, I named her after Stevie Nicks. I've got another charity shop find here. My dad had always said how good the Beach Boys were, so I used to work in a charity shop. When I saw this album, which is Keeping the Summer Alive, I picked it up because I trust my dad's taste in music. Haven't actually listened to this yet, and it's been a while since I bought it. And when I brought it home, my dad was kind of like, might not be their best work, but the couple of Beach Boys songs I know are pretty fun and happening. So yeah, I don't think I actually know any of these songs, but I'm sure they're great. Next is one of my favourites. I love this album, I love this band. I just really love 80s music. If it wasn't for Nirvana and Oasis saving the 90s for me, then I wish I was around in the 80s, although I probably didn't listen to Nirvana and Oasis when I was actually in the 90s because I was a small child. But yes, we have got Songs from the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. I love this album, it's so good. So the songs that it says on the front that it includes are my favourites. We've got Head Over Heels, Shout, Mother's Talk and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Everybody Wants to Rule the World and Head Over Heels are two of my favourite songs. I love them a lot, and this is a really, really good album. You should listen to it. Next we have got Ed Sheeran Plus. This is his debut album. I did have to double check. I couldn't quite remember which one it was. And now I'm starting to doubt myself, but I do believe this is his debut album. And this is the one that's got like the A-Team, Drunk, Lego House, You Need Me, I Don't Need You, etc, etc. It's a good album. I like it a lot. Another bloody good album. I mean, they're all good albums in my opinion, because why else would I have them? But this is just one of those albums that blew my mind when I first heard it, and I was like, it awakened my love for music once more. And that is Watch the Throne by Jay-Z and Kanye West. You wouldn't know it from looking at it because it doesn't say that anywhere on there, but that's what it is. I think this has like has coloured discs. We've got a yellow disc and a clear disc inside. It's just such a good album. Even if you're not into that genre, I feel like it's one of those that people that aren't particularly into it could potentially really like. For example, my mum doesn't like any music like that, but she likes Eminem. So I feel like every now and then there is an artist or an album from a genre that makes people say, hey, I really like that, even though I wouldn't usually. That's what that is for me. Even though it is a genre I genuinely really like, but it's not for everyone. And I can't work out what way it goes now. So as I said earlier, I love Queen. There is a Queen film coming out this year and I'm so excited for it. I'm so happy. We're getting a Queen film and Mamma Mia 2 this year. I love ABBA, I love Queen. This is a great year for film in my opinion. I can't believe I have no ABBA in my collection, that's sad. So we've got Queen's greatest hits. When I worked in the charity shop, we used to have a stack of CDs that we would listen to when you're on the till, and it's like cashier gets to pick the CD. And this was one of the CDs, the Greatest Hits album, and I used to put it on every Sunday when I was on the till and just rock out to it. Used to get a little bit awkward when Fat Bottom Girls came on. That could be a little bit awkward. Sometimes I had to skip that, depends on who was in the shop. But yeah, this album, man, and Queen are just so good. Just so good. I had one of the best moments of my life singing Bohemian Rhapsody on a train with a bunch of strangers, and it was just the best thing ever.
Can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out. Just gotta get right out of here.
It was one of the most surreal moments of my life, but just one of those moments I will never forget. It was wicked. We've only got 2 more left of my collection before we move on to Dad's Bowie, and it moves into my Bowie because I've got David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Iconic. This album, man, it's just sick. Does Dad have this? I can't think if my dad has it. One of the biggest Bowie fans I know, and I don't think my dad has this in his collection. I'm sure he does. I'm sure it just got separated from the rest. But this album, so good. I mean, Bowie in general is just so good, but that is just amazing. Next, we have got Hunky Dory, which I find really, really cool to compare to my dad's Hunky Dory. There's about, I don't know, almost 50 years difference between these. I think it's like 43 or something, I'm not sure, I can't quite remember. Me and my dad did work it out, but that is what Hunky Dory looked like back in the I don't know, 70s? I'm not very good at remembering when things came out. Yeah, 1971. That's what it looked like in 1971, and this is what it looked like when they reissued it in, I don't know, 2016 or something, not quite sure. This has a couple of my favourite Bowie songs on, which are Changes, Life from Mars, and Oh You Pretty Things. They're a couple of my favourites from this album, and I like it a lot. I'll quickly zip through the old Bowie stuff, which a lot of it I probably don't know as well, to be honest. So this one, which I think is called Scary Monsters. Like I said, I'm not exactly a connoisseur. I really like Bowie, but I wouldn't ever claim to be like the world's biggest fan. So we've got this one. A couple of these are really beaten up. This is The World of David Bowie. This one is falling apart. This is The Man Who Sold the World. Postcard. The classic Aladdin Sane. The iconic. I didn't know I had this. Changes Once. Fame. I love Fame. And then we've got Heroes. I just want to play so much Bowie right now. Bowie. Stage. Which for some reason has a piece of paper in the front that says The Cure, The Walk, Phil Collins, In the Air, Jolly Brothers, Conscious Man, and other things. I don't know why it says this. It looks like my mum's writing as well. Maybe in the 80s my mum decided to record over it, I don't know. Then we've got Space Oddity. We've got Low. Bowie knows how to do album art, doesn't he just? And then we've just got David Live. And then I've just got a sleeve. Don't know what he did with the rest of it, and that's Young Americans. My dad clearly cannot look after his vinyl. Got a few 45s here as well, but that's not really something I would lean towards playing, because you put it on and then as soon as you put it on you've got to change it again. But for the sake of this video, we have got Bowie, John, I'm Only Dancing Again. We have got Susie and the Banshees, Dear Prudence. I'm a big advocate for Susie and the Banshees. Then we've got, there's nothing in here, but this would have been Soft Cell, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye. That's definitely one of my mum's. That's snuck in there, should I say. That's helpful too. Guys, they've got to learn to take care of these. It's got my mum's name on it, but her maiden name. So when she was a little person. I can't even work out who that is. The Cure, The Walk we've got here. You're the Best Thing. The Big Boss Groove. Oh no, Grooving. I'm reading the wrong thing. Grooving by the Style Council. Deja Vu. Rick James. It also says Tina Marie, so you can tell I don't really know who either of those people are. Associates. It's better this way. But I feel like my mum has drawn a self-portrait on there. I don't know how well you can see that, but that looks like a self-portrait of my mum in her school uniform in 1982. 99 Red Balloons. That's definitely my dad's, because that is the one song my mother cannot stand. Don't know why. I Know by Yvonne Elliman. I don't even know why I'm reading these out anymore. This isn't my collection. I'm just looking after them for my parents. I don't know most of these songs. Paul McCartney, No More Lonely Nights. And then lastly we've got one more Bowie, which has my dad's name written on it, and it says it's Amsterdam and Sorrow on the other side. So that, ladies and gents, my hands are very dusty from 30-year-old vinyl. Luckily I filmed a makeup video earlier and had wet wipes to hand. That is my vinyl collection. It took a lot longer to get through than I thought it would, to be honest. I've got a lot more than I actually really thought I had, which is always nice. I think the things I really want to get next are going to be Oasis, because they are one of my favourite bands. I actually have a wish list on Amazon just for vinyl. So I've got, I don't know, maybe 20 albums on here, but a few that I'd really like to add to my collection in the very near future would be definitely maybe What's the Story, Morning Glory from Oasis. I'd quite like some 1975. I'd quite like some Panic at the Disco. Oh, I need to remove that from my wish list because I have that already. What else would I like soon from here? I quite like the Harry Styles album. I really liked that album, and it's currently 20% cheaper than it was when I first added it. I also really like Bleach from Nirvana to complete my Nirvana collection, as it were. And I've got loads of other stuff on here as well, but those are the ones I would like to get in the next 6 months to a year or so. And that concludes my vinyl collection. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please give the video a thumbs up if you want to hear me talking about music more, although for a lot of you I'm sure that was quite enough. If you're new here, then please subscribe if you're into this, whatever this just was, me blabbering on about music. And that is everything. I will wrap it up now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!